I left my name at the entrance tonight, traded it in for whatever comes next. The city outside has no claim on me here. This room runs on a different kind of breath. I came here carrying the weight of the week. Every conversation I did not want to have, every version of myself I had to perform, folded away like a letter I'll never send. The bass came in and rearranged my bones, found the spaces I had packed too tight. Every synth corridor I walk through alone, every beat a door I finally open right. I do not need to understand it, I only need to let it in. I do not need to hold the edges, I only need to begin. Dissolve into the frequency beneath my feet, let the low end move through every cell. The version of me that needed walls to feel complete is the version I am finally saying farewell. Dissolve into the architecture of the sound, let the chords rewrite the story I have told. There is something on the other side of letting go. There is something worth more than control. The lights have their own language tonight, red to amber in the time it takes to breathe. Someone beside me closes their eyes to see better. That is the only wisdom I believe. I stopped checking the time around an hour ago, or maybe it was 3 hours, I cannot say. The music has a different relationship with clocks. It counts in feelings, not in minutes of the day. I do not need to understand it, I only need to let it in. I do not need to hold the edges, I only need to begin. Dissolve into the frequency beneath my feet, let the low end move through every cell. The version of me that needed walls to feel complete is the version I am finally saying farewell. There is a specific kind of silence that only exists inside very loud rooms, when the track breathes and every person breathes with it before the next wave comes and the whole thing blooms. I have been searching for that silence all my life, in conversations in the space between words. Tonight I found it underneath the speaker stack, the most honest thing I have ever heard. The wave does not ask permission to ride, the tide does not apologize for being strong. Everything I was holding on to for survival was the very thing that stopped me moving on. I am not afraid of the depth below this moment, I am not afraid begin again somehow. Something came through the static tonight. A pattern I have been waiting years to recognize. Not a voice exactly, more like a direction. The kind that only arrives when you stop asking why. Broadcasting into empty air, sending out the same transmission since I was young. Every frequency I tried came back to silence. Every word I offered fell before it was sung. And the bassline shifted half a degree, and everything the noise was covering fell away. There is a signal underneath the ordinary life that only speaks to those who learn to stay. Tuning past the interference, past the voices I rehearsed. Tuning to the frequency that finds me at my worst. Signal from the deep end of the night, finding me in spaces where I hid from light. Signal through the architecture of the beat, waking something patient underneath. Signal, I have been receiving you for years, mistaking you for silence, mistaking you for fear. Signal, now I know the difference, now I hear. You were never absent, you were always here. There is a transmission in the way a chord resolves, in the moment between the build-up and the fall. Something that cannot be explained with theory alone. Something in the body that responds before the call. I watched 100 strangers feel it simultaneously. Every face releasing something held too long. There is a shared frequency beneath the individual, a signal we all carry that belongs to the same song. Past the interference, past the voices I rehearse. Tuning to the frequency that finds me at my worst. Signal from the deep end of the night, finding me in spaces where I hid from light. Signal through the architecture of the beat, waking something patient underneath. I used to think that clarity meant quiet, that understanding meant the noise would stop. But clarity is learning what to listen for. Not the absence of the signal, but the drop. Every frequency I have been filtering out was carrying a piece of what I need. The low end holds the things we cannot say out loud. The mid-range holds the things we were afraid to feel. There is no transmission without a receiver, and there is no receiver without a self that's open. I spent years building walls that I called wisdom, and still I not stop beyond the door. Keep receiving, keep receiving. The broadcast never ends. Signal finding signal in the dark. That is how the night begins again. The most important things always happen at the edges. I have spent my whole life living in the center of things, where the expectations were clear and the lightning was good, where success had a recognizable shape and belonging meant staying exactly where you stood. But the center is a managed place, a curated place, where the wild frequencies get filtered before they arrive. The periphery is where the unprocessed signal lives. The periphery is where the real things are kept alive. Move toward the edge with me, away from what is safe and lit. The periphery is calling, and I am finally ready for it. Periphery, the place where the map runs out, where the certainties dissolve and the music gets loud. Periphery, the place where the body finally speaks, in the language that the center spent years trying to delete. Everything important in my life began out here, in the unmaintained territory beyond career. Periphery, I should have come sooner. Periphery, I am never going back to center. The bass sounds different at the edges of the room. The mix is raw, the frequency's less tamed. The people standing at the walls are not the ones who came for status. They came for the particular thing that cannot be named. I recognize them by the way they close their eyes, completely not performing the experience but living inside it. The center of the room performs the night. The periphery of the room resides in it. Move toward the edge with me, away from what is safe and lit. The periphery is calling, and I am finally ready for it. Periphery, the place where the map runs out, where the certainties dissolve and the music gets loud. Periphery, the place where the body finally speaks, in the language that the center spent years trying to delete. Every discipline has a periphery, the zone where the established rules start losing their grip, where the practitioners who went too far became the founders of the thing that made the center shift. Art lives at the periphery of safety. Science lives at the periphery of the known. And whatever I am building in the quiet of my life needs to be built out here, not close to home. I used to think the periphery was where you ended up when the center decided it was done with you. But tonight I understand us to be. The periphery has no such use for revision. The periphery just lets you be exactly free. Periphery, the place where the map runs out, where the certainties dissolve and the music gets loud. Periphery, the place where the body finally speaks in the language that the sinner spent years trying to delete. Everything important in my life began out here, in the unmaintained territory beyond career. Periphery, I should have come sooner. Periphery, I am never going back to center. I find a wall to lean against and feel the speaker through the plaster. The bass is not a sound here, it is a contact. Something the body receives before the ears report. Something that bypasses the conscious and goes straight to the fact. Periphery, this is where the honest version of me lives. Periphery, the curated version never makes it out this far. I will build my next life starting from this edge. I will navigate by periphery, not by a managed star. There is a current below the surface of things that does not announce itself. It simply takes you. And the question is never whether you will resist, but how long before you understand that resistance is the wrong conversation. Then the current found the cracks I thought were sealed. The basslines slipped beneath my carefully kept floor. Something very old and very warm came through. Something I had been guarding the door for. The undertow is not the enemy. The undertow is the invitation. The current is not taking you away. The current is the navigation. Undertow pulling me down to where the deep things grow. Past the surface where the ordinary stories go. Past the version of myself I keep for daylight hours. Down into the territory where the real thing flowers. Undertow, I stop fighting at the second bar. Undertow, the bottom is not as dark as the fear. Undertow, everything I thought I was protecting is still intact. It is just closer and more clear. The people who have never let the music take them think surrender means you lost the argument. But there is a kind of giving in that builds you stronger, a kind of letting go that is not abandonment. I have been down here long enough to see the topography, the valleys where the heaviest emotions pool, the rich lines where the melody peaks and collapses, and the wide flat plains of everything that's true. The undertow is not the enemy. The undertow is the invitation. The current is not taking you away. The current is the navigation. Undertow, pulling me down to where the deep things grow. Past the surface where the ordinary stories go. Past the version of myself I keep for daylight hours, down into the territory where the real thing flowers. There are people I have loved who feared the depth, who kept their lives shallow enough to see the bottom, who translated every current into danger and missed the life that only the deep ones had gotten. I do not blame them for the shallows they chose. Fear of depth is not a character flaw, it is just fear. But I have been in the undertow tonight, and I can tell you the deep end is clear. The bottom is not where things go to die. The bottom is where the pressure makes things permanent. The bottom is where the diamonds are formed. The bottom is where the serious things are sent. Every version of myself I buried down here is not a casualty, it is an ingredient. The undertow was not my enemy, it was the most important experiment. Undertow, pulling me down to where the deep things grow. Past the surface where the ordinary stories go. Past the version of myself I keep for daylight hours, down into the territory where the real thing flowers. I stop fighting at the second bar. Undertow, the bottom is not as dark as the fear. Everything I thought I was protecting is still intact, it is just closer and more clear. The current brings me back to the surface slowly. The room is still the room, the night is still the night. But something in my chest has been rearranged permanently, and the rearrangement feels exactly right. Undertow, thank you for the depth you showed me. Undertow, I will come back again. The surface life is waiting with its ordinary hours, but the deep life is where I have always been. Everything that pulls is also giving something back. The tide comes in and covers everything familiar. The landmarks disappear beneath the surface of the sea. And the people who have only known the shore at low tide think that loss is all the rising water has to be. But the tide is not erasing what was there before. The tide is adding depth to what already exists. The rock that looked like nothing at the waterline becomes a reef when the tide insists. Let the water rise above the things you recognize. Let the depth redefine the shape of where you stand. The tidal pull is not your enemy tonight. The tidal pull is the most honest thing at hand. Tide up, pulling everything toward the deep. Tide up, the current is a promise that it keeps. Every low tide was a preparation for this height. Every dry season was a study for tonight. Tide up, the gravity of music and the moon. Tide up, the inevitability of the tune. I am not being swept away, I am being carried. I am not being lost, I am being married to the tidal. To the tidal. There is a predictability to tides. today the ocean rearranges the shoreline, and the shore is better for the rearrangement, because the tidal rhythm cleans what has accumulated, moves the sediment from where it has compacted, and the shore emerges from the tide more honest, more itself, less encrusted, more impacted. Let the water rise above the things you recognize. Let the depth redefine the shape of where you stand. The tidal pull is not your enemy tonight. The tidal pull is the most honest thing at hand. Tidal, pulling everything toward the deep. Tidal, the current is a promise that it keeps. Every low tide was a preparation for this height. Every dry season was a study for tonight. I have had my low tide years, the years of exposure, when everything I usually kept submerged was visible. The embarrassing geology of what I am made of, laid out on the flats, legible and missable. But the tide always came back for the low tide version. Covered the exposed rocks with something wider, and what I thought was humiliation in the shallows was just the before state of something finer. The moon does not apologize for the tidal effect. It does not soften the pull out of consideration. The moon applies exactly the force it has always applied, without negotiation or hesitation. And the ocean does not resist what the moon demands, because the ocean understands the relationship. The pull is not aggression, the pull is alignment. And alignment is the basis of the whole trip. This height, every dry season was a study for tonight. Tidal, the gravity of music and the moon. Tidal, the inevitability of the tune. I am not being swept away, I am being carried. I am not being lost, I am being married to the tidal. To the tidal. The dance floor has its own tidal logic. The crowd moves in and out like water finding shore. The DJ is the moon that holds the gravity consistent, while the tide does what the tide has always done before. Tidal, tidal, let it take the shape of you. Let the rising water show you what was always true. The shore you are is not diminished by the ocean. The shore you are is what the tidal moves toward. Tidal, tidal, always coming back. Tidal, tidal, always coming back. Every atom in this body was formed in a star that collapsed before the earth existed. We are not guests of the universe. We are made of it. And the music is the only reminder I trust. Travel to arrive here in this configuration on this floor. The carbon in my hands was forged in stellar furnaces before the planet had a single shore. Every element that constitutes a body was pressure tested in a dying star. I think about that every time the bass drops and the distance between what we think we are. We are older than our names. We are older than our fear. We are older than the story that brought us here. We are carbon shaped by pressure into form. Carbon, we are carbon that has weathered every storm. Carbon, we are carbon moving slowly to the sound. Carbon, we are carbon and the music is the ground. We have been here since before the words for here existed. We have been moving since before the concept of a beat. Everything tonight is just remembering the pattern. We are carbon, we are ancient, we are complete. There is a particular arrogance in thinking that our emotional lives are something new, that grief and longing and the need to feel connected are experiences that history put us through. The carbon in our bodies holds a longer memory. Every supernova was a kind of loss. Every stellar collapse was a kind of transformation. Every new formation was a kind of crossing. We are older than our names. We are older than our fear. We are older than the story that brought us here. Carbon, we are carbon shaped by pressure into form. Carbon, we are carbon that has weathered every storm. Carbon, we are carbon moving slowly to the sound. Carbon, we are carbon and the music is the ground. I look at the people around me and I see the stars, not metaphorically but literally in structure. Every face a different arrangement of the same ancient matter. Every body a different angle of the rupture. The rupture that sent us outward into space to cool and gather and form planets, form oceans, form life, to eventually find a floor and close their eyes and feel the low and move through carbon in the night. What is compression but the pressure of formation? What is the drop but the collapse that starts the next? What is the build but the slow accumulation of everything that hasn't happened yet? The music is not imitating the universe. The music is the universe expressing itself through speakers and through circuits and through dancing through the carbon that we are, through our collective head. Carbon, we are carbon shaped by pressure into form. Carbon, we are carbon that has weathered every storm. Carbon, we are carbon moving slowly to the sound. Carbon, we are carbon and the music is the ground. We have been here since before the words for here existed. We have been moving since before the concept of a beat. Everything tonight is just remembering the pattern. We are carbon, we are ancient, we are complete. 11 billion years of travel, and we end up here, in a room with speakers and a crowd that understands that the oldest language is the vibration in the chest, that the oldest home is the movement of the hands. Carbon moving, carbon dancing, carbon breathing, carbon finding carbon on the floor. We were made to do exactly this forever. We have been doing it since long before. I cleared the last of it out on a Tuesday. Brought a box, expected to fill it twice. Everything I thought would be impossible to move fit in the single box quite easily. The room echoed when I walked back through, and the echo was not grief exactly. The echo's the sound of something beginning. Empty rooms have their own specific weight, the weight of all the versions of the life you planned. Every conversation that you thought would happen here, every quiet morning you had already mapped out in advance. The walls hold the impression of the furniture, the floor holds the outline of the rugs. The room remembers what we ask it to forget, and the remembering has its different kinds of loves. Let the empty breathe, let the empty speak, let the empty room teach me something I could not reach when it was full. Empty room, still out with everything it held. Empty room, the silence is a story being spelled. Every cleared surface is an invitation. Every bare wall is an open conversation. Empty room, I chose you when I could have filled you back. Empty room, the courage in the clearing of the track is the same courage the music asks of me. Empty room, this is also being free. I have been filling rooms my entire adult life with furniture selected to communicate stability, with books arranged to suggest a kind of person, with objects chosen for their social legibility. The empty room refuses all of that performance. The empty room says only, what do you actually need? The empty room is the most honest question I have encountered in a very long time indeed. Let the empty breathe, let the empty speak, let the empty room teach me something I could not reach when it was full. Empty room, still out with everything it held. Empty room, the silence is a story being spelled. Every cleared surface is an invitation. Every bare wall is an open conversation. I turn the music up inside the empty room to see if the acoustics match the change I felt. Every note had more space than it had before. Every chord had room to become itself. The bass sat differently in an emptied space. The melody had somewhere new to travel. When I understood that I had been so full of things that my own frequency was starting to unravel. The most important space is the space you make when the thing that filled it is finally gone. Not the absence of the feeling, but the decision to live inside the space and carry on. I am not the vessel meant to hold one thing forever. I am a room that gets to choose what lives inside. And tonight in this new emptiness, with the music, I am choosing what to keep and what is served its time. Empty room, still out with everything it held. Empty room, the silence is a story being spelled. Every cleared surface is an invitation. Every bare wall is an open conversation. Empty room, I chose you when I could have filled you back. Empty room, the courage in the clearing of the track is the same courage the music asks of me. Empty room, this is also being free. I lock the door on the empty room at dawn, carrying nothing but the key and what I know, that every cleared space is a kind of beginning, that every ending has a room below. Empty room, keep holding what I left behind long enough for me to understand. And when I come back with only what is necessary, I will fill you slowly, carefully, by hand. Geologists say you can read the entire history of the Earth. In the patterns of its fault lines, every fracture is a record of a force applied. Every displacement is a chapter. I have been reading my own fault lines lately, in the places where I bend before I break, in the specific angles of my defensiveness, in the geography of everything I cannot shake. I grew up on stable ground, or so I was told, on foundations that were meant to hold indefinitely. I built my life on top of what my parents built, and they on theirs, and theirs on theirs, deep into history. But fault lines do not announce the presence in the deed. They do not show up in the survey of the lot. They wait for the particular convergence of conditions, and then they show you everything the stable surface is not. The fracture is not the failure. The fracture is the truth. The fault line is not the enemy. The fault line is the proof that something real was moving underneath all along. Fault lines running under everything I thought was mine. Fault lines drawing borders that I cannot see in daylight. Fault lines beautiful and terrifying all at once. Fault lines, I have been standing on you for the longest time, and not knowing was a gift I could not afford to keep. Not knowing kept me living on a surface without depth. Fault lines, now I know the shape of you. Fault lines, knowing you is knowing me. The music finds the fault lines without asking. It does not need a map of where the pressure lives. It moves through the body like a seismic survey, recording every place that has a little more to give. Every tension in the shoulder, every arming of the chest, every bracing that I do not consciously perform. The music locates all of it precisely, and then the bass arrives and passes through the storm. The fracture is not the failure. The fracture is the truth. The fault line is not the enemy. The fault line is the proof that something real was moving underneath all along. Fault lines running under everything I thought was mine. Fault lines drawing borders that I cannot see in daylight. Fault lines beautiful and terrifying all at once. Fault lines, I have been standing on you for the longest time. There is a particular relief that comes from knowing where the fault lines are and calling them by name. Not to prevent the earthquake, that is never possible, but to stop pretending that the ground is always the same. I have been in relationships that lived on my fault lines. I have built careers on the edges of my cracks, and tonight, with the bass moving through the unstable places, I am not afraid of what the music finds or what it maps. The most catastrophic earthquakes in geology happen along the faults that have been locked for longest. The more you resist the natural movement of the plates, the more force accumulates along the strongest. I have been a locked fault for a long time now, holding still against the pressure that requires motion. Tonight the music is the seismic event I needed, and the release is not distraction, it is devotion. Fault lines running under everything I thought was mine. Fault lines drawing borders that I cannot see in daylight. Fault lines beautiful and terrifying all at once. Fault lines, I have been standing on you for the longest time, and not knowing was a gift I could not afford to keep. Not knowing kept me living on a surface without depth. Fault lines, now I know the shape of you. Fault lines, knowing you is knowing me. I step out onto the street and feel the concrete differently. there's a fault line running in. Fault lines, I will walk you carefully. Fault lines, I will know where not to build. But knowing where the ground is prone to movement is not a reason to stand still. The stillest water I have ever seen was a lake in Iceland at 4 in the morning. The surface was so perfectly undisturbed that the sky inside it was more real than the sky above. I stood there for 20 minutes before I understood that the stillness was not the absence of movement. It was the sum of all the movement, balanced so precisely that the surface held. I have spent so many years confusing stillness with stagnation, confusing quiet with the emptiness of the unlived. Filling every silence with the noise of demonstration, filling every space before the space had time to give. Still water does not mean the water is not moving. Below the mirrored surface the current is alive. Still water means the movement has found its equilibrium. Still water means the motion has learned how to survive. Still enough to hold a reflection, deep enough to hold a life. Still enough to cross without destruction, deep enough to carry light. Still water, I have been moving toward you for so long. Still water, every turbulence was part of the song. Every storm was practice for the balance I found here. Every lost direction brought me to this atmosphere. Still water, I can see the sky inside your surface now. I can see the stars reflected in the here and now. Still water, I am not afraid of what lies deep below. Still water, I am ready, I can go. The music reaches still water in the 4th hour, when the DJ has found the conversation with the room, when the crowd has reached the place beyond performance, and everybody knows there is no reason to assume that this will last forever, or that it should. The value is not permanence, the value is the quality of now. Still water does not promise anything beyond itself. It only offers depth and asks you to allow. Still enough to hold a reflection, deep enough to hold a life. Still enough to cross without destruction, deep enough to carry light. Still water, I have been moving toward you for so long. Still water, every turbulence was part of the song. Every storm was practice for the balance I found here. Every lost direction brought me to this atmosphere. I think about the people in my life who found their still water early, who reached the equilibrium before the long way round. And I do not envy them the shorter journey, because the long way gives you more relationship to ground. Every river that I rode to get here taught me something about the nature of the current and and the nature of the shore. The stillness that I found tonight is earned stillness, and earned stillness opens every door. Still water is not the end of the journey. Still water is the place the journey rests. Still water is the conversation between the movement and the thing the movement is putting to the test. Every great navigator needed still water, not to stop, but to recalibrate the stars, to take the reading of the sky inside the surface and understand exactly where and what you are. Still water, I have been moving toward you for so long. Still water, every turbulence was part of the song. Every storm was practice for the balance I found here. Every lost direction brought me to this atmosphere. Still water, I can see the sky inside your surface now. I can see the stars reflected in the here and now. Still water, I am not afraid of what lies deep below. Still water, I am ready, I can go. The night ends in still water. The morning starts in still water. The version of me that came in is not the version leaving. The turbulence was necessary. Every single current was the music of a life worth believing. Still water holds me on the way to the exit. Still water keeps the surface clear and true. I carry the reflection of tonight inside me. The sky, the stars, and something close to you. Still moving, still going. Still water, still moving, still going. Still water, still water. Every map begins with someone willing to say, I do not know what is out there, but I am going to find out. I have been drawing mine for years in the dark. I have been mapping territories I cannot see. The interior of grief, the border of desire, the unnamed place that opens when the bass drops, and the body becomes something older than its name. Every chart I made was incomplete by morning. Every line I drew was washed away by sleep. But tonight the music holds the compass steady, and the ground beneath my feet is mine to keep. Mark the place where the feeling lives. Mark the place where the silence gives. Mark the coordinates of this before the morning takes it back to myth. Cartography of everything the body knows. Every valley where the load and slowly grows. Every peak the melody is reaching toward. Every river where the bassline starts to pour. I have been here in a different life or two. I never had the language for the view. Cartography, cartography. I am finally drawing something true. There are places in the chest with no official names. Cartographers of medicine call them symptoms, but there is a richer language for these territories. The music speaks it, even if science doesn't. The place where longing lives is 3 miles west of where the hope you killed comes back to breathe. The place where joy surprises you is right below the place where you decided not to leave. Mark the place where the feeling lives. Mark the place where the silence gives. Mark the coordinates of this before the morning takes it back to myth. Cartography of everything the body knows. Every valley where the low end slowly grows. Every peak the melody is reaching toward. Every river where the bassline starts to pour. I used to navigate by other people's maps, following the routes that someone else declared safe, avoiding the unmarked regions on the edges where the beautiful and terrifying things have always stayed. Tonight I crossed into the unmarked edge alone. The music was the only landmark I could trust, and what I found there was not what I feared. What I found there was something close to us. The deepest cartography is done in darkness, when you cannot see the shape of what you're drawing, when the only information that you have is feeling, and the only direction that you have is going. The map is never finished, only continued. Every night adds detail to the draft. The life I thought I understood completely keeps revealing edges fore and aft. Cartography of everything the body knows. Every valley where the low end slowly grows. Every peak the melody is reaching toward. Every river where the bassline starts to pour. I have been here in a different life or two. I have never had the language for the view. Cartography, cartography. I am finally drawing something true. I fold the night up carefully at dawn. The edge is soft, the center holding still. I added to the archive of the hours that taught me something no profession will. Keep mapping, keep moving, keep going out into the unmapped regions of yourself. Cartography was never about certainty. It was always about choosing depth. There is a line in every life that you can only identify in retrospect. A point you crossed without ceremony or announcement, after which nothing operated on the same coordinates. I crossed mine sometime around the 3rd hour of a night I had not planned on meaning anything. The music was the marker I did not know I needed, and the before and after split cleanly along its seam. I have been walking toward this my entire life, without a name for what I was walking toward. Every detour was a preparation. Every failure was a rehearsal for this chord. The meridian is not a dramatic moment. It does not announce itself with symbols or with signs. It is a chord change in the middle of a long journey, where the landscape on both sides of you realigns. Before the line I was searching, after the line I arrived. Before the line I was asking, after the line I survived into something else. Meridian, I crossed you in the dark tonight. Meridian, the GPS of feeling getting it right. Everything that brought me here was going somewhere real. All the roads I thought were dead ends were the roads I needed version of me who almost stayed home, who almost chose the comfortable familiar night, who almost let the tiredness win the argument, who almost did not trust the music to get it right. That version is still inside me. She will always be tired and unconvinced and looking for the door. But she is not the one who gets to make the final call. She is not the one who crossed the floor. What I know on this side of the meridian is that the journey does not end at the arrival. The coordinate is not a destination. The coordinate is a point of clearer navigation. After the meridian, the map becomes more honest. After the meridian, the compass stops its spinning. The meridian is not the end of searching. The meridian is the search's new beginning. Meridian, I crossed you in the dark tonight. Meridian, the GPS of feeling, getting it right. Everything that brought me here was going somewhere real. All the roads I thought were dead ends were the roads I needed still. Meridian, I recognize the ground beneath my feet. Meridian, I have been to this coordinate in dreams before the cartographers arrived to name it on a map. This was always where I was supposed to come back. I do not know the longitude exactly. I do not know the latitude by name. I only know the music shifted something permanent, and the person leaving here is not the one who came. Meridian, keep the coordinates. Hold the line in the geography of change. I will come back to this place in the music when I need to be rearranged. Some frequencies exist below the range of hearing. The body receives them before the ears do. Buildings have been known to shake from infrasound before any instrument measured what passed through. Tonight the room has that quality. Something below the audible floor is moving. Something the speakers are not entirely responsible for. I have been living on the surface of my senses, hearing only what the daylight sanctions, seeing only what the rational mind validates, missing the frequencies below the transactions. The ghost frequency lives beneath the music, below the kick, below the bass, below the floor. It is the reason certain rooms feel different. It is the reason certain nights you feel more. Not everything that moves you is something you can name. Not everything that changes you announces that it came. Ghost frequency, finding me inside the dark, rewriting something subtle in the architecture of my heart. Ghost frequency, older than the instruments we built, playing through the bodies of everyone who ever felt the thing below the thing below the thing, the signal underneath the signal underneath the spring. Ghost frequency, I have known you all my life. You were the unnamed feeling, you were the unnamed life. There is a reason people come back to the same room, the same DJ, the same hour of the night. It is not entirely nostalgia, it is not entirely habit. It is the frequency they cannot find in daylight. The ghost frequency does not travel well in open air. It needs the pressure of the walls, the weight of the crowd. It lives in a specific convergence of conditions that only to explain this to people who do not go out, who keep their nights domestic and predictable and still. They hear the word frequency and think of radio towers, not of what lives below the threshold of the will. The ghost frequency is not a metaphor exactly, it is something the physics books have documented, but physics books do not talk about what happens when the ghost frequency and a grieving body are acquainted. I think we carry frequencies inherited from people who lived before us in these bodies, emotional infrasound passed down through generations. The music finds them in the darkest of the parties, and for a few hours in a room full of strangers, those inherited frequencies get to vibrate freely. The ghost in the frequency is not a haunting. The ghost in the frequency is the part of us that needs to be. Ghost frequency finding me inside the dark, rewriting something subtle in the architecture of my heart. Ghost frequency, older than the instruments we built, playing through the bodies of everyone who ever felt. The thing below, the thing below, the thing, the signal underneath, the signal underneath the spring. Ghost frequency, I have known you all my life. You were the unnamed feeling, you were the unnamed light. I leave the room with something I cannot describe, carrying a frequency I did not come in with. The ghost is not behind me. The ghost is not beside me. The ghost frequency has become the myth that keeps me coming back to rooms like this, to floors like this, to nights like this. Ghost frequency, ghost frequency. You are the reason all of this exists.